We want our back straight. We want our back straight. We want our shoulders down. Our chin not pointing upwards at all. If anything, slightly pointing to the floor in front of us. And then just slowly close your eyes and breathe. So we're going to look at stabilizing today. Slowly breathing down. Constantly keep scanning your posture. Make sure you're not sinking down and your back's becoming C-shaped and your stomach's just resting. Keep it engaged. I always like to use a term as if Iron Man's little circle heart transformer thingy, technical term. If he had one of those, it would shine directly forward. It would never be pointing to the floor. It would always shine forward. So although your chin would point to the floor, your heart center faces forward. And it's a nice little posture check. Slowly raise your chin, open your eyes. Take your prop, whether it's a block or a cushion, and just hold it in your hands. And we're just going to lift it up, and as you lift, you're going to inhale. I want you to push it back and up. So I want you to try and brush your bicep with your ears with your biceps. So up and up. So while I'm doing this, my stomach sucks in, and I'm pushing up as much as I can. And I'm going to come down. And I'm keeping my arms away from me. So my shoulders are in protraction. Protraction is when our shoulders are away and we're rounding our upper back. I'm now going to take it shoulder height, and I'm going to inhale it all the way up. So I'm going to elevation with my shoulders, which is up, and protraction, which is forward. So my big lat muscles, or my lat muscles, come round. And I breathe here for 5 breaths. Keep checking that your biceps are touching your ears. If they relax, push up. And come down. Keep it here. From here, take it round behind you. Take your other hand behind you and swap hands. Touch in the middle, take it back. And swap hands. Touch in the middle and swap hands. So try to not lean forward to swap. Try to stay upright and swap. So we're trying to mobilize our shoulders here. And do both sides. And take your block, place it to the side. Come around, come back to your block and press it to the floor. So I'm only going to use my fingertips. So As you notice, as you press to the floor, you automatically engage. The added engagement you could have here is if you lift your pelvic floor. That gives you even more stability and stillness. And pick your block up, take it in front of you, and press it to the floor. Lift your pelvic floor. And from this position, we should be feeling our chest muscles engage. And relax, pick your block up, take it to the side. Come to center, go back to the side, press to the floor. And come back. So we're going to lie down on our backs. And we're going to take the block and put it between our feet or the cushion, doesn't matter. And we're going to put our hands under our spine. We're going to press them into the floor and lift our knees. So my knees will stay where they are now. Well, they'll move because my hips will move, but I'm not going to move them in and out. So we're going to come here, going to press our back into the mat and just touch our heels on the floor. 1. Press your back into the mat, touch your heels. 2. Really concentrate on pressing your hands into the mat. 3. 4. And 5. Keep the block there, hug your knees to your chest. So my knees are apart and I'm just rocking from side to side. Take my feet to the sky. Hold it there. Push away from me. Point my toes. So if I've got a cushion, then it will be closer. I'll do it with a cushion for a moment. Still do the same. Point your toes. Relax. Flex your feet towards you. Relax, point your toes. So the idea of a cushion or the block is that we're working our adductor muscles. So work with your breath. Relax there. Reach up, take the block or the pillow with your hands, engage your core, lower your feet. So we have our hands up, we're going to take our block behind us and push away. Now we're going to lift, we're not going to lift our arms at all. We're going to take the block away from the floor by contracting our stomach, sucking our stomach in, contracting our ribs, tucking our tailbone under and lifting up. So my arms are still brushing past my biceps. Point your feet, keep your core engaged. Really keep the integrity in your midsection here. And relax. Take an inhalation, take your arms up, take your legs up, take the block in your hand, in your legs. Drop your legs, drop your arms. So this time we're going to take the block up off the floor by not bending our knees, but by contracting our core, sucking our stomach in, tucking our tailbone under, and just pointing and lifting. My arms are staying on the floor, so is my head. Keep squeezing the block and pressing it away. And relax. Take a breather here. Take your feet to the sky. Take your hands to the sky. Take your block. Just hold there for a moment. So both your feet, both hands are touching the block. Look up. Squeeze here. And breathe. And take away. Lower both. And have a breather here. So you've got a choice with your hands on this one. You can take your hands to here, and we're going to raise our feet. Or you can come up here. So I suggest we all start here, and if we're comfortable, we can move to the more advanced position. So, suck your stomach in, press your mat to the floor, tuck your tailbone under, engage your glutes, engage your thighs, point your toes, lift your feet off the floor and the block. Like I say, if you're comfortable here, you can take the block to there. And come down and relax. Place the block to the side for a moment, hug your knees to your chest, and roll from side to side. Use this time to breathe, slowly breathing down. Fill your lungs with that replenishing oxygen. Place your feet down in front of you, keep your knees together. And we're going to come up, and all we're going to do is we're going to touch one ankle, squeeze this bit here, come back through neutral, touch the other ankle, squeezing the other side. So every time you come back through neutral, check your neutral, go back and squeeze. Neutral, other side and squeeze. Neutral. One more time either side, reach and squeeze. So really I'm putting all my concentration on squeezing these muscles here, which are your oblique muscles. Neutral, last one, squeeze. And come back to neutral. Take your block, put it between your feet. Either way, it can be this way, whatever's comfortable for you. Come up onto your elbows and onto your hands. What you're going to lift your block and you're going to push it away from you and bring it in without putting it down. And push it away from you and hover. And bring it back. Now watch my upper body, it's not rowing, My legs go in. I might have some movement in my body where I counteract my weight. That's fine, but try not to go up and down too much. And this time we're going to push and hold. And drop the block. Cross your legs, roll over onto all fours. So we'll give our core a rest a moment, and we're just going to warm our wrists up. So I want us to place our hands carefully on the mat, middle fingers or index finger pointing at 12 o'clock. So get the heels of your hands under your shoulders. Make sure your pads are pressed into the mat and there is no space on the mat in that gap there. So push through, round your shoulders, suck your core in, and I want you to rock forward, press your fingertips into the mat and let that push you back. So it's a very fine movement of just a couple of inches, rocking forward, using your fingertips to press you back. If you're doing it correctly, as you press, you will feel the pressure up the inside of your forearms. If you're not, press your fingers into the mat harder, fingertips. So my fingertips are pressing quite hard so that they're going white. I don't expect you to press that hard, but press enough so that you get them forward and back rocking motion. And bring your knees together, sit back, and just rotate your hands. So we're going to do what I suppose they're called finger push-ups. I don't think they've got an official name. So what we're going to do is place our hands down. We're going to put our weight over them and we're going to lift the heels of our hands up and then the pads of our fingers, our hands. Put the pads down, put the heels down. So you're trying to control your weight as much as possible. If you want less weight, bring your hands closer to you. If you want more weight, put your shoulders over your hands. And if you want even more, then you can do it in a plank position. Really try to keep your arms straight here. You're really trying to control your own weight. From here, make a fist, place them on the ground. Keep your arms as straight as possible. Let your wrists come to the floor, open your fingers, close your fingers, push your wrists up. And again, drop your backs of your hands to the floor, open fingers, close fingers, wrists back up. Nice and slowly. So again, you're taking as much weight as you feel comfortable. And it's not a lot of weight. I can't take a lot of weight doing this. The main thing is to concentrate on keeping your arms straight. And sit back. We're going to continue with the back of our hands. Put our hands there. Just stretch. So when I'm in this stretch, what I like to do is push away and rotate my arms round as far as I possibly can. So my biceps are facing away from me. come up. Palms to the ceiling, backs of the hands down. We're going to take our fingers, place them by our knees, and push our arms away from us so that our hands are flat on the mat. We're now stretching that very bit that we were hurting in the first wrist exercise. And come up. So, nice and warm, nice little rotation. So we're just going to give our wrists a bit of exercise now. And we're going to come into high plank. So when you do a plank, your arms are straight, you're pushing away from the floor. You don't ever drop your midsection. That's an absolute no-no. You push it up. You can have your bum slightly in there if you want, but the more you engage your thighs, you can get a straighter plank. And we're just going to hold that plank and control our breath. And from plank, bring your elbows to tuck in and lower yourself slowly to the floor. Take your pillow or your block, press it in front of you. You're going to have your head down. You're going to push your toes away from you, engage your glutes and engage your thighs. Tuck your tailbone under, try and lift your stomach off the floor and press your block down. Go. And relax. Leave your block to the side. Come onto your elbows. You can have your hands clasped or your hands in front of you. Curl your toes under. Suck your stomach in. Contract your core. Come into a low plank. From low plank, put your bum into the air, come up, walk your feet in, adjust your hands, come into down dog. Come up on your toes, look at the gap between your feet, take your right foot, place it between your hands, grab hold of your block, keep it close, come up. You're in a lunge position, still on your toes. You're going to take the flat of your foot to the floor. You're going to open up. Take your hands out into warrior. Look over your forward hand. Try to check your knee hasn't pronated in. Try to keep your hips open. Your body is upright. Your hands are in line with each other. Rotate your arms out by you swiveling your hips. Bring your hands up. Come into Warrior One. From here, drop your hands, step forwards, feet together. We're going to slowly go down into a forward fold. Here's where you're going to want your prop, your cushion, or your block. Place your block flat, whatever is your position. You've got many different faces on here if it's a cushion. And I want you to just press into the block. As if you're trying to lift your feet. And come up. As we come down, we're going to take our right leg back. Drop it down to the side. Take our hands out to the side. Rotate at the waist. And we're going to come into Warrior Two. Check your knee hasn't rotated inwards. You're keeping good posture. One of the things in Warriors is that we often collapse this knee down to the floor, and that can give us knee trouble and sometimes ankle trouble. So a good thing to do is to think about your arch there, pushing back so that you engage and you keep your arch up. And then we're going to rotate at the hips. Take our hands up. Gaze becomes our thumb. Take your hands down, shift your weight forward and take your step from forward. This time you're going to take your block and you're going to put it in between your stomach. So we're going to put our block between our stomach and our thigh. And we're going to come into a forward fold. We're going to grab the back of our legs and we're going to try and squeeze the block. And come up slowly, keeping the block in your hand. Separate your feet slightly. We're now going to go into a balance. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our left foot, plant it through the floor. Think about the position of our foot on the floor. Post it through, get strong in that leg, raise all the way up. So this foot becomes light. And all we're going to do is we're going to lift our knee up. We're going to place the block on our thigh. We're going to hold it there. And take the block and come down. Now going to post through your right leg again, making sure that you've got good contact through the floor. You engage your thigh muscles. Try lift all the way up so you're nice and straight in this line. And then you're going to lift your other leg up and you're just going to hold it there. We're going to breathe slowly. So I'm really focusing on a single point in front of me, and that helps me maintain my balance. And come down, it's just losing it at the end there. So rotate your hips. And this time you're going to rock forward, take your right leg back, sorry. Keep the block close to you, hold it, or your cushion, hold it. Push your heel away from you and hold that balance. Squeeze the block, might help you control more. And slowly come down, change feet, and go into your warrior three posture. Squeeze the block, it helps you contract your stomach. And come down. Good. We're going to work our way down to the floor. So take your feet wide, slowly come down into your squat, and we hold our yogi squat. From here we're going to come forward onto our knees. We're going to take our knees as wide as we can. Take our chest to the floor. And up. We're going to shift our weight to one side. Take our feet in front of us. And we're going to sit in Dandasana. So Dandasana is a seated staff pose. Both sit bones are equal on the floor. My shoulders are back and down. My chin is level with the floor. My feet are pulled back. My stomach is in and contracted. If you're struggling keeping a straight back, put your hands behind you to help you keep your back straight. The straight back is the most important thing here. From here you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them somewhere between your hips and your knees, whatever's comfortable, fingers facing forward. You're going to suck your stomach in and you're going to lift your core. And come down. Put your fingers under your knees, bring your knees in. Just give yourself a hug. Maybe rock a little bit. So you've got an option here. You can put your hands underneath your knees and bring yourself up into a balance and then take your knees forward, or you can take your hands out and hold that balance. And come down slowly, find your balance, cross your legs and squeeze them in, keeping your feet off the floor. Take your feet, place them on the floor in front of you, place your hands, fingers pointing forward, probably about between 6 inches and a foot away from you, and we're going to peel our chest up. We're going to come up. If you find this position easy, then there is an add-on where you can have your legs straight. Try to keep your core engaged, your glutes engaged. And slowly come down. Walk your backside back, put your hands under your knees, and just bring your chest to your knees. Keep your knees quite high for now. We're going to work our way into a forward fold, but we don't need to do it quite so dynamically. So start to ease yourself into your forward fold. So when you're in a forward fold, if you have your toes pointed, then it relaxes your central nervous system a little bit. It allows your body to get used to the fold, and then when you pull them back, you'll feel the tension increase down the back of your leg. Come up slowly. Take your block or your pillow, cushion, and we're going to place it anywhere you want on your thigh. The objective of this exercise is to squash the block into your thigh. So you're going to need to grab your legs, pull them against, and you're pushing your block into the thigh. Okay, so squeeze down. I always walk my backside back. It just enables me to keep my back going forward and straight as possible. And squeeze. We're going to hold for about 5 to 6 seconds. And come up. Sit back, have a breather. We're now going to do it again for 10 seconds, and that's the last one on this position. So, come in. Take a big breath here. And go down, squeeze. And come up. Take an inhalation, take the block or cushion to one side. We're going to go back into our forward fold. We should go a little bit further. And come up. We're just going to give our backs a little bit of TLC, so bend your knees, lie down onto your back, hug your knees to your chest and just roll. And as we roll either side, we're just massaging the bit we've been pulling on our back. And we're going to come up. We're going to come into a straddle stretch. So we're going to have our blocks handy to the side. We're going to have our feet as wide as we can. So again, it's important to have your core engaged and your back straight in this position. So if you struggle with tight hips, you've got a choice. You can bend your knees slightly and that gives us a little bit more room with our hips. Or you can take your hands behind you and push back and keep them there. So the idea is to keep a straight back. And we're going to get used to this position because this stretch is huge for the body, what we're about to go into. It's one of the biggest stretches that we'll do. And start to work your way forwards. And you're trying to get your chest to the floor, not your head, because you just end up going into a C shape, and we don't want to do that. So I'll come down onto my elbows and I'll get my body used to this position, probably for 30 seconds. Now I'm going to try and touch my chest on the block. And rest my head. And slowly come up, take a breather. So now you'll want your prop place it in front of you. So we're going to do the same as what we did in the forward fold, is we're going to take our chest to the block. So you may want your block here, you may want it closer, which stops you going so far. You've got many dimensions to have your block. The idea is to squash the block into the floor with your chest. So we're going to come up, we're going to go down for 5 seconds and squeeze for 5, then we're going to come up, take a breather, and we're going to go down and squeeze for 10. So let's go down, squeeze the block for 5. And come up. One of the good things about squeezing a block in this position, it makes you contract your core, and as you contract your core, your back will become straighter and it makes it stronger, so it makes the stretch more correct. Now we're going to go down, we're going to squeeze for 10. And come up. Take the block to one side for a moment, take a breath in, and we're going to go down and we're going to see if we've improved our stretch slightly on this position. And work your way up. Good, well done, good stretching guys. Really, really good, well done. So we're going to just warm down with some stretches now. So we're going to take our feet either side of the mat and go slow on this. Drop your knees to one side. Try to keep your posture good. Then come up, roll through to the other side. And again, one more time either side. Up and over. And lower down onto our backs, get your knees upright, lower yourself down nice and slowly. Bend your left knee, take your right ankle, place it over your left knee. Pull your knee towards you, keep your head on the floor. Slowly release without touching the floor. Swap legs. Take your legs, untangle them. Come into tabletop, place the backs of your hands on the floor. Drop over to your left. Keep your ankles and your knees stacked on top of each other. Look over to your right. If you want an added stretch, place your hand on your knees and press down. That increases the stretch up your lumbar region. Slowly come up into neutral, engaging your core. Check your neutrals are good neutral. Drop down to the other side. Slowly come into your neutral. Hug your knees to your chest and roll from side to side. And allow your legs to go along the length of your mat. Place them down, open your feet as wide as the mat. Take your hands somewhere between your hips and your shoulders. Beyond the backs of your hands, beyond the back of your head. Square your shoulders to the floor and just melt into your mat and relax. Bring your breathing down to a nice controlled inhalation and exhalation that's the same length and strength. Stay relaxing. Soften your face as you inhale. There was once a boy, and he went to his father and he asked him, "Father, what is my value?" And his father thought about how to answer the question. He gave his son a rock, and he said, "Son, take this rock to the market." He said, "And offer to sell it. And when they ask you how much, don't say anything, just hold 2 fingers up." So the son took the rock to the market, and he found a market stall owner who was interested in the rock. And the market stall owner said, "Yes, I like that rock, I will buy it. How much is it?" And the boy held 2 fingers up. So the market stall owner said, $2, I'll buy it. And the boy went home to his father, and he said, "Father, the market man wanted to buy the rock off me for $2. So the father said, "Right, now son, I want you to take the rock and go to the museum, and if they offer to buy it, don't say anything, just hold up 2 fingers." So the boy took the rock to the museum, and the curator said, "That's a very interesting rock. I believe it's quite rare. We would like to buy that. How much is your rock?" And the boy didn't say anything, he held up 2 fingers. And the curator said, $200, I'll buy it. And the boy was confused, he ran back to his father. And he said, "Father, the man at the museum offered to buy my rock for $200. And the man said, "Okay, now I want you to take this rock to the precious stone store." He said, "And if they offer to buy it, don't say anything, just hold up 2 fingers." So the boy took the rock to the precious stone shop. And he was there, and the man in the shop was overwhelmed with what he could see. He could see the most beautiful, precious rock he had ever seen. He said, "This is indeed a rare thing, a piece of beauty. Where did you find it? Where did you get it? We must buy that." He said, "How much is it? How much will you sell me that rock for?" And the boy didn't say anything, he held up 2 fingers. And the man from the precious stone shop said, $200,000, I'll buy it. And the boy was overwhelmed by this. He ran back to his father, and he said, "Father," he said, "the man in the precious stone shop offered to buy the rock for $200,000. He said, "I don't understand." He said, "Now, son, do you understand your value?" Your value is about who you surround yourself with. You could choose to surround yourself with market stall holder type people, and they see your value at $2. And that's how they see you, and that's probably how you will see yourself. Or you might wish to surround yourself with people that see your true value, that true diamond that is inside of you. The precious stone shop people that see your value and value you for who you are. And in return, you see their value and value them for who they are. Who we surround ourselves is important. Choose the people that you keep company with and surround yourselves carefully. Choose the people that see your value, see your diamonds inside of you, and in return, see theirs. So bring yourself back into your space and make some small movements with your hands and your feet. And take this opportunity to take a stretch here. Whatever movement or stretch that your body needs, it will tell you what it wants. Listen to your body. And bring your knees to your chest and roll from side to side. And bring yourself up into sitting. And just enjoy a few moments of peace and serenity with yourself. Internalize everything, your thoughts, think of your breathing. Feel that sense of peace sweep over you. I wish you peace in your mind, strength in your body, and love in your heart. Namaste. Thank you guys. I will unmute you all.